Coming up on Look Today, well, the American Red Cross held its annual blood drive at the Great Escape in Queensbury. I've got details. And the Glens Falls Civic Center continues renovations and prepares for another hockey season. More on that coming up. And here you go, we've got an update behind the mystery, behind the Emerald Feeder Canal. I got those details. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. In tonight's program I sit down with Teddy Foster. She's a campaign director for the Universal Preservation Hall in Saratoga, and we're joined by Chuck Vasconian. He's an audio engineer and producer, and they're here to talk about Druthers' upcoming fundraising concert for Universal Preservation Hall that's happening this weekend, October 8th. I also sit down with Marty DeWitt. Now he's the owner of Thermal Associates, and he's here to talk about the science of thermal energy applied to heating and cooling systems. Yes, that's correct. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, the American Red Cross held a blood drive today at the Great Escape Amusement Park in Queensbury. Now, the American Red Cross has a goal of 100 donors. Now, in the past, blood drives at the Great Escape have been very successful. Well, we spoke to Rebecca Close. She's a spokesperson for the Great Escape.
This is a local blood drive. They're looking for over 100 units today, and every donor who comes in gets a free ticket to experience the Great Escapes Fright Fest that just kicked off this weekend and will go through October 30th.
We also spoke to her about the importance and the history of the annual blood drive.
We've had a pretty successful history of our blood drives here in partnership with the Red Cross, and it's such an important need. I think over the last 13 years, we've been able to save thousands of lives, collected thousands of pints of blood and saved hundreds of lives. So it's just an important need and one that we cannot speak highly enough of.
Yeah. In other news, well, as you know, the Glens Falls Civic Center is currently undergoing a lot of renovations. And guess what? It's just in time for the start of the hockey seasons. Now, the renovations include new video boards, repainting the girders, new seats, as well as a new outside marquee. Well, the hockey season starts, by the way, on October 22nd. And many are hopeful that the Adirondack Thunder's second season will be successful. And the Glens Falls Civic Center, by the way, hopes to increase its attendance as the Thunder kick off the 2016. And we spoke to Cameron Close. He's the Director of Corporate Sales and Broadcasting.
And hopefully this place will be a packed house. I know that last year was the first time we won in the playoffs for over 2 decades. So people are excited for the team to come back, and hopefully winning ways will keep going.
Now, you can tell from the background of that shot how nice that ceiling looks. That's been completely redone. Switching from news to weather. Well, today saw a cooler morning, temperatures increasing to the 60s later on. It got cloudy. Let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, we're going to head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Back to the news. Well, here's a story I know you're dying to know more about. The mystery behind the feeder canal turning green. Well, guess what? It's been uncovered. The New York State Canal Corporation announced that it was in fact a non-toxic green dye that was used to identify a possible leakage in the canal. Now, the dye will continue to be used over the next couple of weeks. And it's not harmful, by the way, to the environment, animals, or individuals. Now, water leakage was found in the basement of the Finch Paper Building, which started this. It sits directly next to the canal. Now, necessary steps will be taken to repair the damages. Up next, I sit down with Teddy Foster. She's a campaign director for Universal Preservation Hall in Saratoga. And we're joined by Chuck Vasconian. He's an audio engineer and producer. They're here to talk about Druthers' upcoming fundraising concert for the Universal Preservation Hall that's happening this weekend, October 8th. I also sit down with Marty DeWitt. He's the owner of Thermal Associates. Very interesting company. He's here to talk about the science of thermal energy applied to healing and cooling systems. Very insightful interview. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea. How about join us for an interview? Well, then you give us a call on the hotline, 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. I've got a couple of lookouts for tonight. I've got to refer to a note on this one. A frequent guest here on Look Today, Marty Vonnegs. He's the president of the Saratoga County Prosperity Partnership. Now you know why I have to read it. He just recently, we got word today, that he earned a designation. It's called Certified Economic Developer. I guess that means it's a national recognition of his mastery of the skills in this area. We've gotten to know Marty over this past year, and it's well-deserved. So congratulations, Marty, to you and your team. Also, a reminder to candidates who might be running for office in areas that affect Saratoga, Warren, and Washington County. We're getting nice response, and we will interview you so the audience here can get to know more about you and what you stand for. So please give us a call if you want to be interviewed. And last thing is kind of self-serving, but we're getting quite a reaction to a package we put together to help businesses close out the year successfully. It's called the Look Prime Package. And what it is, it's a collection of options on spots on our television station and on our website to help small businesses close out the year on a positive note. So we'd be glad to help you. Contact us for that, 798-8000. That's it. Tonight on Look TV, it's a Queensbury Town Board meeting. It's a new one. And don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.